Good morning. Welcome to Just for Today. Apologize for the tardiness. Had some technical difficulties and some distractions this morning, and here we are now. Um, just for the moment. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader of the newly joined communities of Greater Baltimore and Columbia of Centers for Spiritual Living. Today is June 27th. And what caught my attention this morning was literally one sentence from this book called The Bill of Obligations, The 10 Habits of Good Citizens, written by Richard Haas. And the sentence reads, "What makes it all complicated is that sooner or later, the matter of one's obligations to fellow citizens can come into tension with individual rights." And what comes alive in me is the invitation to understand that as a call to a greater experience, a greater awareness, a greater intention that creates a greater experience of wholeness. That as individualized expressions of consciousness, where are the desires that I'm experiencing individually in conflict with the good of the whole? Because if that is operating in me, then I am operating out of alignment with the truth of my being. And so the invitation is to find what that's about, the sense of separation, the idea that there can be something that is good for me as an individualized expression of creation that negatively impacts the whole. And then to work on healing those thoughts of separation that are creating that perspective. And I think one of the challenges, even as I'm talking, what's coming to mind is our experience of thinking that I may miss out, right? That if I focus on the whole, the human part of me goes, well, what about me? And the spiritual knower in me says, what about you? With the understanding that what heals the whole body has to be good for me. That when my focus is on wholeness, my focus is on me and you and everybody else equally. And so then I'm living into the truth, the reality of one. And there's nobody wins, nobody loses, because everyone is truly included, and the whole winning and losing paradigm is neutralized. I remember studying Emma Curtis Hopkins, where she talked about when we want something for ourselves, to treat that everybody else gets it first. And it took me a while to wrap my head around that. And she's saying this same thing, that ultimately, what is it that will heal the whole? Because the whole body is ultimately what will give each of us individualized everything we desire. And for us humans, that's a challenging navigation. And my personal experience is the sooner I recognize that, the sooner I acknowledge that, yes, I am challenged with this perspective, right? Then I'm instantly empowered to do something different. And I've learned to let go of doing something better because it presumes that what I'm doing is bad. What if I just do things differently? What if we let go of right and wrong, good and bad, let go of all sense of blame, and just seek clarity on what is good for the whole? What is correct for the whole? What will bring about the highest expression of love, of peace, of presence for the whole? And allow ourselves to be guided into that. So that's my offering this morning, is a different way to look at wholeness, a different way to use spiritual mind treatment to eliminate those points of stress where I tell myself that what I want is in conflict with the whole, because it's the conflict that is the invitation to heal. Uh, yeah. And so that's what I have to offer. Um, I'll pause here for just a moment while I get my timer up for our meditation. And then we can go into our time of meditation. There we go. And so it's a 5-minute practice, just practicing being present with what is. Um, if you've joined me before, you've heard this, so you get to hear it again. We're not making anything happen. We're not preventing anything from happening. We're just practicing being present with what is. Okay. And so I'm going to go ahead and move us into that, and I will close us out with a spiritual mind treatment, also known as affirmative prayer. Here we go. And so in this moment, I recognize there is only one. By whatever name we call it, God, Buddha, Allah, peace, power, presence, love, joy, beauty, the great mystery, great spirit. It is beyond any name. It is every name and so much more. It is the nameless, changeless substance expressed as creation, consciousness expressing itself as the formed and the unformed, as the visible and the invisible, infinite possibility. And so I know that I am that in form, that the essence of me, the very makeup of me, the truth of being is that I am a divine idea in the mind of creation, a desire in creation to experience itself as me. And what I know in the truth of one substance is that what is true of me must be equally, undeniably true of every individualized expression. And that while each is individualized, we are never separate from source, from the substance of our being. And just as we are inseparable from the substance, we are inseparable from each other. One body, many cells. And so I claim and affirm that my awareness is enlightened from a perspective of the whole. That what operates in me at this human level of awareness is founded in and supports the health and well-being and unrestrained, unrestricted, undivided expression of one whole body. That anything unlike that is brought into my awareness, not for the purpose of conflict, not for the purpose of overcoming or fighting against anything, but simply to neutralize it with truth. To neutralize every thought of separation with the simple acknowledgement of one wholeness, the harmonious operation of one. And so knowing the simplicity and power of that reality, knowing that within this magnificence of creation, the activity of law simply makes it so. Indiscriminately saying yes to every desire of the body, to know, to heal, to experience that glorious alignment, free of conflict, free of opposition, free of any thought, any delusion, any illusion, any idea of separation, any idea of lack, any idea of loneliness, even the idea of illness, is mitigated and neutralized and healed by the activity of law manifesting the perfection of being in, through, and as every cell of the body. And so I know that it's already done. And I know that I do not know the timeline, that I am in no way in control. And so I release the very idea of a timeline. I release the very idea of controlling anything so that I can fully be present and participate in every moment of what is. Free of any dichotomy of right and wrong, I release the very ideas that are in conflict with perfection. I release it all and simply stand in the magnificence of one whole, perfect, and complete creation. And I let that be my reality, one breath at a time. I let go. I embrace and I embody. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amin. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.